Just look at me now. Just look at me now. Just look at me now. Eyes up on me, take a look at me now. Just look at me now. Just look at me now. Eyes up on me, take a look at me now.
Takes on the strike.
Chelsea are champions.
Good evening. The second half of the season is down to business and the fight is on at the top and bottom of the Barclays Women's Super League table. Here's what's coming up on the Women's Football Show. Liverpool look to bounce back following their defensive collapse at Man City last weekend. They welcome title hopefuls Arsenal. Table toppers Chelsea, fresh from their Champions League win in midweek, hope to maintain their dominance as they travel to Brighton. And the two sides level on points at the bottom of the table battle it out as Bristol City played host to West Ham United. All of that, plus the three remaining fixtures in the WSL and the latest in the Barclays Championship as well. But here with me to cast their expert eye across all of the action are Anita Asante and Fern Whelan. Now, no fighting you two as we start the show with Anita and Fern's former sides as Arsenal travel to Merseyside for revenge over Liverpool. Anyone need a reminder of when these two sides met on the opening day of the season?
A new season, new expectations. Arsenal against a Liverpool side who'll be desperate to spring a surprise. Comes back for Leon Hudson-Mornham, who wants to strike it and does. Curtis Cross and in! Matt Beard's Reds start this campaign with victory at the Emirates.
Watching on to see if Liverpool could do the double over the Gunners was Mark Scott.
Well, Liverpool boss Matt Beard makes 8 changes to the team that were thumped 5-1 at Manchester City. Grace Fisk, Gemma Bonner and Fuka Nagano are the 3 players who retain their places in the team. Skipper Taylor Hines isn't in the matchday squad. As for Arsenal, it's a very different story. Jonas Eidevall goes for an unchanged team from the narrow 2-1 success over Everton last time out in the WSL. Leah Williamson is on the bench. She could make her first WSL appearance since suffering that awful ACL injury in April of last year. Taken nicely by Pilova. Russo wanted it early. Mead holds on to it for now. She's got McCabe making a run on the right here and standing it up, and it's off the post. Well, Liverpool perhaps caught out by the fact that Katie McCabe was suddenly motoring forwards on that right-hand side. Looked like she may have gone a touch too early as well, but no flag. Also looking to reach a landmark this afternoon. They've won 499 points in the WSL era and aiming to become the first team to reach 500. Here's Miedemar trying to make it 1-0 for Arsenal. She can't. Pilova tried her luck instead. Bit better from Arsenal, who haven't had too many phases like this where they've strung together a number of passes down at the Liverpool end. Fox forcing her way through, but then unable to get past Jasmine Matthews at the expense of a corner for Liverpool. Congested area, and the header is clutched safely by Rachel Laws. Well, it was a crowded area. Vuven Moy was the one who got her head to it. Like a foul to me. Advantage is played. Pilova has it. and has lifted it towards Mead. Gano's there, and has poked it towards Van der Sanden. Lawley. Daniels in the middle. It's towards Daniels! Clearest sight of goal that Liverpool have had so far. It's a really good move. It was a really good burst as well by Lawley. Spotted the run of Daniels, couldn't have put it into a much better area. It was not the easiest of finishes, but she did get there first and couldn't keep it down. Rousseau. Ford. Ford fires it in, nearly an own goal. Well, Liverpool have a glimpse of goal at one end, and Arsenal with a very big chance at the other. Laws made the save. Arsenal so close to ending the half with a goal. Arsenal, who pride themselves really on their technical excellence and quality, have not had the desired level of quality so far. Miedema has gone for it! Oh, magnificent! Vivianne Miedema smashes Arsenal in front. It's been a game crying out for a moment of magic, and Miedema has provided it. Couple of touches to steady herself, and then wallop. Moved a bit in the air. Laws will perhaps feel that it's one that she could, maybe should have saved, but it was struck really well by Vivianne Miedema. Well, they won away at Manchester United last month after falling behind Liverpool. Need to try and come from behind again today. Actually scored first against Manchester City as well and went on to lose 5-1. They nearly went 2 down there. Caitlin Ford wriggling her way into some space and then popping it goalwards. Goal seems to have brought Arsenal to life. Good save by Laws after excellent footwork from Ford. Wasn't a bad try as well. Credit to the keeper. Fox. All clever. Rousseau's chasing. No flag. Alessia Russo. 2-0. And that might be the game. Caitlin Ford finishes off the move and may well have finished off Liverpool. Arsenal have upped it since the break and now have a 2-goal cushion. Super spot this from Fox and a well-timed run from Russo to ensure she was onside. Likewise was Ford, who had the most straightforward of tasks after the perfect pass from Alessia Russo. Liverpool 0, Arsenal 2, and given how little they have troubled the Arsenal backline this evening, you struggle to see how Liverpool are going to get back into it now. Valti, that's useful. Blackstenius is in and should have made it 3. Laws deserves credit. She was quickly out to try and put off the Arsenal forward. Liverpool convinced there should have been a flag, but I think she's on. Played on by the skipper, Niamh Fahey. Serena Wiegmann amongst those in attendance. Urge to shoot, and Blackstenius will shoot, and Laws will make the block. Well, she might have been beating herself up a bit for not keeping out Miedema's effort, but she reacted smartly here to stop Blackstenius making it 3. Here Williamson will have to wait for her first taste of WSL action since that ACL injury. Away by Laws. And still, well, that's the first save Zinsberger's had to make. But the home fans really like that because it was good, positive play. And finally someone taking on their opponent. Here's Fox. Little trying to slip in Lacasse. Oh, and how on earth has that not become 3-0? Blackstenius had the goal at her mercy. Jonas Eidevall's 100th match in charge of Arsenal ends in a victory, and one that ensures that they don't lose any ground on Manchester City or Chelsea at the top of the WSL table. Full time then, Liverpool 0, Arsenal 2.
The goal changed the game for us today. I mean, it was a good strike, but yeah, there's positives we can take. Look, the last two games are always going to be challenging and testing. I think the performance from the team was a lot better. I felt we could have been braver going forward. You know, we got in good positions, maybe broke the press, and then we go back. But they're learning curves for us. But first, I thought we'd maybe the better chances, the more clear-cut chances to maybe score. And I think just against these types of teams, you need to take them.
I think we were good on the ball. We always knew the first goal was going to be hard, with Liverpool working so hard, trying to be so compact, trying to defend with so many players. And we created a lot of almost chances before that. And after that goal, the game really opens up. And it's nice we scored the second. We should probably have scored the third as well.
Well, that was Jonas Eidevall's 100th game in charge for Arsenal. It was also his birthday. Happy birthday, Jonas. He did say this week that he was going to celebrate with fruit, not cake, so enjoy your cherries. But 3 points, 2 goals, a clean sheet. It couldn't have gone much better for him today, could it, Anita?
No, I think he'll be really happy with his team's performance. Obviously, off the back of a win in the Cup against Reading and previously against Everton, they're continuing that momentum and that chase in the title race as well, which is really important for them.
Arsenal had to be patient today. They didn't score until the hour mark, but what a goal from Vivianne Miedema.
And what a player to step up and score that goal. I think they did really well to be patient. And Emily Fox kind of came into her own in the second half. She got braver, she was driving down the channel. But I think Liverpool's maybe lacked in concentration here to not press Miedema on the edge of the box, which they did so well in the first half. Let them down a little bit as well. I think Rachel Laws may be disappointed, but Miedema takes a look up, strikes it, you know, first time. That's the Miedema we're used to seeing before the injury. What an absolutely great finish that was from her.
That's her first goal since December 2022. I think the celebration said it all about what it means to her. You talked there about the fact that Emily Fox played a big part in the first goal. She was heavily involved in the second goal as well, Anita.
Yeah, I think she's just coming to her own. She's starting to understand the way this team wants to play. She had kept good width in this situation, is driving inside, finds that reverse slide pass into Russo's path, is able to just whip a ball into the box and behind the Liverpool defence, and that's great, a great run from Caitlin Ford as well, to just fight for that space and get ahead of Grace Fisk there to just get on the end of that ball. But you could see that, you know, Fox was just willing to get up the pitch and create those overloads and cause problems throughout the match.
Yeah, it's uncharacteristic goals from Liverpool a little bit in this second half compared to what they did so well in the first half. They were so tight to Arsenal, they didn't give them any time, any space, whereas there we can see Russo in acres of space and Gemma Bonner doesn't really know what to do with her there, and I think you've got to be able to get tight to her so she can't get that crossing in the first instance.
Matt Beard made 8 changes from his Liverpool side who were thrashed last weekend. They didn't get the result they wanted, but there were positives today, weren't there?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially in that first half, they had numbers behind the ball. They pressed aggressively. I thought they did that really well for the majority of the first half. You know, Arsenal did dominate. We saw that in the highlights, how many chances they had. But you can see there's willing cover from midfield, and they were switched on and alert a lot of the time. And they were forcing Arsenal into errors. And you can see first balls, second balls, they were winning them. Look at all those numbers they can get behind the ball there. And it just forces Arsenal into errors. We saw there was a clip where Vivianne Miedema had a shot on the edge of the box and they forced it onto her left foot, didn't give her the time and space.
Yeah, they were really compact, they were patient, they were tenacious, and then when they had opportunities to transition and counter-attack, in the situation with Mia Enderby, they almost score and create an opportunity, and they just needed to do that a bit more throughout the game when they broke the Arsenal's pressure.
We saw the Lionesses boss, Serena Wiegman, wrapped up warm, watching the stadium today. Wonderful scenes midweek when Leah Williamson made her return to football after her ACL. She came back in the League Cup. She didn't come on today. If you're Jonas Seideveld, you've got a player like Leah Williamson that I'm sure you're desperate to reintegrate into your starting 11. But as two defenders who have both done ACLs, how hard is it to bring a centre back in to that back line?
Yeah, it's really difficult when the team is winning. They've got momentum, they've got a stable back line that's building a relationship. But we know Leah has the quality. She showed that in the cup game that she played in. I'm sure he wants to reintegrate her, but it's really difficult, you know, when you've got some difficult fixtures coming up as well, and you don't necessarily want to put that kind of pressure on a player that's returning back to play as well.
Yeah, when you're coming back to play, you obviously want to try and increase your minutes and build that in, and I suppose you get time to do that if you're a Beth Mead or a Miedemar, because you're in a, you know, less pressurised position, you're higher up the pitch, away from goal. As a centre-half, it's a little bit more difficult to do so, but I'm sure when the time is right, they will reintegrate her back and not force her back in too soon.
Yes, the next Lionesses camp is from mid-February. I'm sure Leah Williamson has it pencilled in her diary. Now, though, our focus turns down south as Brighton hosted league leaders Chelsea. The Seagulls are no strangers to giant killings this season, having already overcome Manchester City and coming so close to repeating that against Manchester United. But champions Chelsea are a daunting task, especially with Lauren James in frightening form. Watching on at the Broadfield Stadium was Ben Andrews.
A couple of Brighton changes this evening, both out of choice. Maisie Simons drops to the bench. So does Katie Robinson. That one perhaps more of a surprise. In come the Greek forward Beria Sari and Tatiana Pinto, who scored in the Cup in midweek. For Chelsea, 3 changes from Wednesday's Champions League win. Out go Lawrence, Buchanan and Fischel. In come 3 international regulars, Eve Perisset, the red-hot Lauren James, and new signing Natalie Bjorn. The fellow new recruit Myra Ramirez, the British record signing, straight onto the Blues bench. No Sam Kerr, no problem apparently. Scary strength in depth for the champions. Nil-nil, hugely unlikely scoreline. Brighton do tend to score. Chelsea pretty much always score. And can see quite a few too. As Guro Wrighton smacks one off the bar. Canarud, deflection was it? Corner. Jess Carter hits those passes really well. Look at this from Wrighton. I'm not sure if there was a Sophie Baggerly finger on that or not. It's a heck of a hit. The long ball is a very good ball, and Bergsvand has to get back here to track Kirby. Seems like she timed her run well. Dawson to Charles. This is Frank Kirby again. Right in the middle! Scuffs it. A firm foot was surely 1-0. A little slice of the ankle, and it's wide. Chelsea with 70% possession. And for touches in Brighton's box. Both of the 2 shots on target we've seen in this game. But not a great deal else. Maybe now. That's a great ball, and it's another chance that goes begging. This time it's Kirby. 2 best chances have come from that left side. No surprise, because most of the nearly moments have come from that left side too. Leupolz for Kirby. Here comes Niamh Charles. Awkward low ball. What a finish that is! Even Lauren James is smiling. It was that good. Brighton did so well to keep Chelsea largely at bay for that first half. You can't do anything about that though. It's a whipped-in cross and a fizzing finish from a forward in form. Brighton 0, Chelsea 1. Nothing Sophie Baggerly could do about that. Jess Carter swinging it in. It'll be another corner. Captain and made the winner against Real Madrid in midweek, Erin Cuthbert. Leupolz with the header, 2-0. Fran Kirby with her first goal in months and only her second of the season, and she, like Lauren James before her, with a broad grin on. And just like that, the league leaders and champions, frustrated for 45, are 2 up by 50. Nice roll from Bremer. Oh, off the woodwork. Hannah Hampton didn't move. Hannah Hampton looked like she was expecting that to go way wide. That is an out-and-out misjudgment. She might not have been able to get there anyway, but look at that reaction. Niamh Charles firing it into right. Will be feeling a bit better now. Of nearly moments. Lauren James, 3-0, and suddenly it's easy. One with the left, one with the right. 13 minutes have been played in this second half, and Chelsea have won the game. Ball just dropped in the one place those Brighton defenders needed it not to, in the middle of the square that they had created after Pattinson's head. Lauren James, bang, 3-0. Zigliotti trying to get the better of Sophie Ingle, it didn't happen. Brilliant skills and unselfish. Guro Reiten should be 4-0. Well, it's just not happening for the Norwegian today. Thankfully for her, it's not going to matter. Well, in the end, it was comfortable. It certainly wasn't for the first half, but when you got players like Lauren James, a game can turn pretty quick. And that is what has happened here for Emma Hayes, whose side have now won 6 in a row across 3 different competitions. Chelsea frustrated for a long time, but ultimately victorious, and comfortably so. They've won by 3-0.
I'm proud of the group. You know, I think we lost the game in a 10-minute spell at the start of the second half. That's the reality. And the response that we had after the second goal was what we needed after the first goal, because we actually came back out, back into ourselves, found our confidence again, started pressing the game. And I think the third goal was just a result of us searching to get back in it a bit, and it opened out. So I'm incredibly proud of the group. I think we're getting closer. We went toe-to-toe tonight, and there's a lot to be proud of.
I thought we were in control of the game in the first half, but I said to them, we have to go up another level. I could feel that, you know, we had that in us. I felt that maybe we're in control without any urgency. So I challenged the players on a couple of things, a couple of tactical things we changed. But yeah, a very good start to the second half.
Yes, an excellent start to the second half. But Chelsea, another side who had to be patient this weekend. They enjoyed, like we've seen in other performances, a lot of joy down that left-hand side, and that's where their first goal came from.
Yeah, I think they could see that Kullberg, the fullback, was getting in quite high positions, so there was space to exploit in behind that defensive line. Guro Reiten, a fantastic strike there. Unfortunately, it hits the crossbar. But that link-up play between Leupolz, Fran Kirby, Reiten, they're so difficult to pick up those runs, and they were finding, you know, balls in behind into that space, putting deliveries into the box. A bit of ingenuity here. The back heel from Fran Kirby into Leupolz, who again connects with her in that 1-2 situation. They're patient. She's just waiting for some support. Guro Reiten then finds Niamh Charles on the overlap, creates that 2v1 to find a, you know, a good delivery into the box, and that is just a sublime finish from Lauren James, who just has magic in those boots. And you know, that is difficult, difficult technique, and what a strike it is.
Sublime indeed. It's a great description. We're running out of words, aren't we, a little bit? But I mean, yeah, it's a fantastic finish. I think, you know, you say it's a patient from Chelsea. Fran Kirby could have forced it in that instance, but she didn't. They come back, they recycle, they go again, and yeah, what a finish from Lauren James.
Yeah, I think we are running out of things to say about Lauren James, aren't we? So she got the opener, and then Fran Kirby got the second goal with a lovely little header.
Yeah, again, as you say, it's just that little bit of patience. I'm going to stick, I'm going to hover in between the defenders. I think Brighton will be disappointed with the way they've defended this corner, especially off a set piece. They just allow Fran Kirby too much time to kind of hover in between, but she does well, directs it goalwards, and obviously gets a goal that she deserves. She could have scored early on in the first half as well, so a well-deserved goal.
Well, then Lauren James grabbed her second of the evening for her 50th senior goal in club football. Quite simply, how do you play against Lauren James?
I honestly don't know the answer. Both Fern and I are defenders, former defenders. So, I mean, this scenario, she's just so good at finding space and not allowing defenders to pick her up and get tight to her. Here she just hangs out, waits for the ball to drop, and that's a first-time finish, drives it low and hard, and that's a difficult ball. Even though you could argue it's centre of the goal for the goalkeeper there, but the strike has so much power in it. And she's the right player to get on the end of a chance like that.
She's just so difficult to play against, isn't she? Some strikers, when you're playing against them, they like to be marked, so they like to feel you touch tight, and they need that security. She doesn't need that. She'll find that space. She'll back off the midfield, but then she'll come away from defenders. So she just finds that little yard of space, and she doesn't waste any time. And I think she said in her post-match, didn't she? I don't think I just hit it, whereas in the first half maybe she didn't do that as much.
Yeah, Lauren James looks to be filling that hole left behind by Sam Kerr's absence because of her ACL. And then Chelsea go and make a possibly world record signing. Mayra Ramirez, the Colombian forward. We saw her come on today, and she was a player that impressed you during the World Cup, Anita.
Yeah, I mean, this is a player that scored 32 goals in 95 appearances for a previous club over the course of 4 years, and you can see what her attributes and the quality she has, her hold-up play, her ability to roll players, open up the game, find good decisions in her passing as well. She's got goals as well. I think we'll see more of that the more games that she plays in, but she's got the flair and the excitement and some of the things we saw in the World Cup that made us excited to see her in the WSL.
Yeah, and I think even yesterday, in the short time that she was on, we saw glimpses of the pace that she has as well. I think that's going to be a real threat, especially coming up against, some of the defenders in this league. You need that pace this time around.
So Chelsea doing Chelsea things. Melissa Phillips, the Brighton manager, said in her post-match interview that her side lost the game in the opening 10 minutes of the second half. What do Brighton need to do to stop themselves going back down the table?
I think, again, it's them lapses in concentration a little bit for me. They did so well in the first half. It's difficult against a team like Chelsea because they have always got that gear to go up and they've got that other level. But if you can maintain that concentration for a lot longer, and that 90 minutes is keeping that consistency for me.
Well, now, a huge clash at the bottom of the table. Bristol City welcomed West Ham United. Both teams were equal on points heading into the tie, but could one side start their quest for survival? Chris Legg was at Ashton Gate.
Connolly, the captain, standing over the corner for Bristol City. What a start this could be if they could get an early breakthrough from a very early corner. It comes in, headed over the bar. Not all that far away. Shimizu, who got her first goal last week, of course, in that thrilling 4-3 defeat to Tottenham. Long ball comes in towards Ueki, got a touch on it, not enough. Comfortable for Yanez. West Ham with an opportunity here. Harris lays it off to Ueki, crashes off of Asai. Comes back to Hayashi. Hanoka Hayashi has given West Ham the lead. Daisy cuts from a shot, arrowed home from just outside the area. She took the shot so well. And West Ham have an early breakthrough. Struck, hammers it clear. West Ham pick it up immediately through Gori. Long ball through by Shimizu, headed down by Ueki to Asai. He takes the volley on. Oh, the flag was up. And Viv Asai is denied. Viv Asai denied what would have been one of the goals of the season. Marie Ward tries to take it beyond Shimizu and she falls to the turf. No real appeal for a penalty though from Marie Ward. And I think it would have been harsh. Smith with the free kick for the visitors. Loops it in towards the edge of the area, drops to Asai. Asai lays it off to Hayashi, almost find Harris, and it's knocked in by Zadorsky. Offside flag is up against Shalina Zadorsky, who for a moment thought she had scored on her West Ham debut. Well, Harris provided the distraction. Zadorsky converted, but Bristol City have immediately broken down the other end. It's with Fionn Morgan. Morgan pulls it back, and Bristol City are level. Just seconds after thinking that they were 2-0 down, Amelie Testrup, the former West Ham player, has pulled the host level in this relegation six-pointer. Fionn Morgan carried the ball half the length of the pitch, didn't go down for the penalty, pulled it back, and Testrup just taps it home. A West Ham free kick taken by Smith. Drops to Asai. Knocked in by Hayashi, found his way through to Zadorsky and into the back of the net. West Ham players celebrate, but the flag is up. And Bristol City wasted no time at all in getting play back underway. Asai has got away from the Bristol City defence. Viv Asai, what a finish! Cool as you like. Off the outside of the right boot, through the legs of Yanez. Asai, time to run to perfection. And what a finish! So close now to getting a crucial win, and Asai lays it off to Oweki. It's through with Jesu, couldn't bring it under control. What an opportunity that was for Jesu.
Overall, the result, I think, yeah, we've let ourselves down a couple of times in front of our own goal. We've not defended properly. That puts us out of the game, you know. So I'm frustrated by that we're still in this position. That this was a huge opportunity, and now we've got a big mountain to climb.
I'm really proud of the players and the way that they went about the game. I think they delivered the game plan to a T. I think we adjusted really well when they tried to adjust things and started really brightly, got a great opportunity for the goal and took that really well. I thought Hono took that brilliantly. And yeah, just hard working from start to finish, and just a massive plus for the 3 points for sure, and I think we earned it.
Yes, a potentially massive result at the bottom of the table. This was the start that the Hammers would have wanted, isn't it? They piled on the pressure, and then Hayashi struck with the opener.
Yeah, she did, and you know, I think they started off brightly, obviously working hard to get into really good positions. Bristol set up in that back five, so really tried to condense the space, but I think they'll be disappointed with this one in terms of the clearance to start with. Hayashi does really well, great first touch, and then to strike it from there into the bottom corner is a fantastic finish from her. As I say, I think Bristol will be disappointed in the way they've defended that. You can't really leave a player with that quality on the edge of the box.
Well, Bristol didn't go down without a fight, though, did they? Early in the second half, the Hammers thought they doubled their lead, only for that to then be ruled out for offside. A quick response from Bristol to break on the counter, though.
Yeah, it's a deep free kick from Smith here, and you can see Thestrup, the Bristol forward, is defending in the box here. They're defending in numbers and catches Zadorsky offside. But this is what's so good about what they do here. Yanez, the goalkeeper, is able to just send Fionn Morgan into an attacking situation, counter-attacking situation, where she carries the ball up the pitch, you know, single-handedly pushing players, bouncing off them, has the composure to just pick out Thestrup, who, like I said, was defending just a minute ago, has got herself busted a gut to get up the other side of the pitch and get on the end of that ball to just get them back into the game.
Yeah, definitely, and they needed that, didn't they? I think they, you know, Megan Connolly, I think, deserves a little bit of credit in there, a bit of experience. She's seen that it's offside, she shouted straight away. She's telling them, play it out, play it early, and they've done that. And that, you know, they'll need that going forward because they are scoring some really crucial goals at times.
With so much on the line in this game at the bottom of the table, how disappointed will they be to get themselves back into the game and then 7 minutes later concede again?
Again, you say it's a lapse in concentration from them, and I think they will be disappointed. They started off, it's their possession and it's their throw-in really, so you know, it's against they shouldn't be giving the ball away so easily. But what West Ham do really well is they counter, you know, it's taken 2 passes for them to get there, and then Asai does really well to just slot it home, really calm, really composed, and you get punished at this level for things like that.
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed because they have the ability and belief to get back into games. They did that against Brighton despite losing the game, and I think it's the rest defence, you know, when they're not in possession and that transition moment to be switched on and stop teams from getting up the pitch is what they really need to improve.
Yeah, it's come from their own possession, hasn't it? I think that's what will disappoint them. They had the ball in the final third, took the throw, and then they switch off, and it's a lapse in concentration from them.
Yeah, it's a tough old season for Bristol at the moment. They're yet to win at Ashton Gate this season. There's a few days left of the January transfer window. How much business do they need to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's tight for timing, isn't it? But I think, you know, for me, if they can do the business, great. I think they're scoring goals, which is good for a team that are obviously in the relegation battle. But for me, it's those laps of concentration defensively. If they could, you know, that would be where I'd say to sign someone. But if not, it's about learning from the mistakes and the errors that they are making, I think, in these games.
And getting players back. You know, they were unfortunate not to have Naomi Lazelle available today, you know, Brooke Aspin as well. Once they get, you know, their back line back together as well, where I think have performed really, really well in the previous matches, they'll have that momentum, that foundation again to build on.
Yes, there's still a long way to go in the season, we should say, for Bristol and everybody else. But now it's time to round up the rest of the WSL matches, starting with Manchester City, who are on fine form, smashing 5 past Liverpool last weekend and overcoming their rivals United in the League Cup midweek. Next on the hit list was Spurs. Flo Pollock talks you through the best of the rest of the action.
Manchester City had won all 4 of their Barclays WSL meetings at Tottenham and would have taken the lead inside the opening few minutes on Sunday had Bara Votikova not made an excellent stop to deny Alex Greenwood. Unfortunately for the hosts, the deadlock was broken moments later when Amy Turner, under pressure from Bunny Shaw, deflected Lauren Hemp's cross into her own net. Spurs grew in confidence as the game went on and thought they'd equalised on 30 minutes when Martha Thomas beat Kiara Keating, but the flag was up for offside. The visitors were in control and Bunny Shaw added a second soon after the restart to take her WSL goal tally to 13, leading the race for the Golden Boot. 2-0, the final score.
Really proud of the performance. I thought we were great from minute one. Controlled large parts of the play. It was exactly the game we thought it was going to be and what we prepared for. And that was great because it allowed us to build in the way we wanted and practice what we've been doing in training all week.
Leicester were the better side for much of the game at Walton Hall Park, but it was Everton who had the clearest chances. Katja Snoys rattled the crossbar from Heather Payne's pinpoint cross. Before early in the second half, Rika Madsen skied her effort over after Snoys' deflected cross had found the Danish international. The hosts, wasteful in front of goal, were punished in the 53rd minute when Janice came and beat Courtney Brosnan from 20 yards. Leicester went close to adding a second late on, first through Lena Petterman, and then Jutta Rantala when her free kick cannoned back off the bar. A first league win since October for Willie Kirk's side.
There's not much between the teams. You know, we obviously had a big win against them on Wednesday, and that proves a psychological barrier potentially in terms of how both teams approach it. You know, they've got a point to prove and we need to make sure we're not complacent because we knew it'd be a completely different Everton team. So yeah, I think we found a way to win the game.
Aston Villa, who had lost all 3 of their Barclays WSL matches at Manchester United, started the better of the 2 sides on Sunday, but found themselves behind when Nikita Paris headed in Hannah Blundell's cross on 7 minutes. Mark Skinner's side almost doubled their advantage moments later, but Ella Toone was unable to keep her effort down. The hosts began to dictate the play and doubled their lead just after the half-hour mark when Lucia Garcia's shot, touched onto the post by Daphne von Domselaar, fell kindly to Paris to score her second. Less than 2 minutes after the restart, Paris then had the chance to complete her hat-trick, but was denied by a fine stop from van Domselaar. Villa were given a lifeline on 60 minutes when Garcia was adjudged to have fouled Rachel Daly in the box. The penalty was awarded, much to the frustration of the home side. Daly stepped up to smash past her England teammate Mary Earps. Carla Ward's side pushed for an equaliser with Kirsty Hansen testing Earps, but Manchester United held on for their first league win of 2024.
First half we had full control and it should have been out of sight. We should have had the game done, dusted first half, and then I think the game becomes different second half. We have a chance to make it 3. And Nikita was fantastic in the game. Has been a real revelation in that forward line. Knows what she should do to finish and pass that goalkeeper. Credit to Aston Villa's second half, but I always felt that game should have been done, dusted and out of sight before they got back into it.
Yes, that Nikita Parris brace puts her on 6 goals for the season and makes her United's top goal scorer in the league. How important was that result to take the pressure off them? Because they've come under a lot of scrutiny recently, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Obviously going in off the back of defeats against Chelsea and against Manchester City. I think it was the right time for them to get a win and to step up and maybe try and reverse that run of form a little bit. And, you know, Nikita deserves all the credit she gets. I think she's worked really hard to get herself back into the starting 11 in this team. And obviously, as you say, top goal scorer. So she deserves the credit. Could have got a hat-trick today as well.
Parris is a player who's been in and out of the England squad over the last couple of years. If you were Sarina Wiegman, would you be looking at her for the upcoming camp?
Yeah, absolutely. She's in great form at the moment. She's scoring goals. She looks confident. She's being brave. She, I think, fits into the way England plays. She knows the style. She can, you know, give depth. She can run in behind. She's quick. She's tenacious. She's showing all the attributes. So she definitely is in with a fair shout.
Yeah, I think since not being involved since the Euros, obviously, I think she's shown she's been able to have that bounce back ability a little bit. You know, she's really had to graft, work hard, bide her time from the bench, and then when she comes on, show what she can do and earn a place in the starting 11.
Yeah, that's United, but it's been a tough old week, hasn't it, for Aston Villa? A 7-0 victory over Sunderland in the League Cup in midweek that could be overturned after Villa played their new signing Noelle Moritz from Arsenal, who was cup-tied, having played 3 times in the competition for the Gunners. So we still wait to hear confirmation of the punishment from the FA on that one. Villa have Bristol City next weekend. How badly they need to put this week to forget behind them and now get back to focusing on the league?
Yeah, well, I want to hope there's no consequence to their cup run in terms of that. But in terms of the league, it's an opportunity for them to regroup. I think take the second half performance, especially from this weekend, into that next fixture. I think they had certain players that came into the game and really impacted it and get off to a good start and create more chances in front of goal, I think.
Yeah, create more chances, put the chances away, and obviously not, you know, conceding the goals that they have done. They'll go away, they'll learn from them and go into that. It's a big game.
Well, Manchester City have now won all 5 of their away meetings with Spurs, and of course Bunny Shaw was on the score sheet once again, this time linking up with Lauren Hemp.
I mean, Bunny Shaw, what a player. She's in fantastic form, isn't she? Obviously scoring the hat-trick that she scored last week. And I think, you know, it's credit to the players she's got around her as well, the service from a player like Lauren Hemp, who's not afraid to drive at defences. They don't know what to do and can't deal with her. But fantastic finish from Bunny Shaw, and, you know, she's really in some fantastic form at the minute. And yeah, why not with those players around her?
She scored 3 hat-tricks in the last 4 league fixtures prior to this one. I mean, she's just in unbelievable form, and I think, you know, she deserves a lot of credit for what she's doing at City.
Yeah, Manchester City picking up 3 points in what's been a difficult week, because they've now lost Jill Roord to an ACL. We're not going to sit here and talk again about what more needs to be done, because we know more needs to be done. But in terms of her, she's been such a great player for City. How big a loss is that going to be for the rest of the season?
I do think it's a big loss. I do. I think she's been, you know, I think she's been fantastic for them. She's been in great form. She's been that link between midfield and attack, as you said, you know, scoring, creating goals as well. So I do think she'll be a loss for them. It's, you know, come at a really crucial time in the season as well.
And she's a leader, you know, she's got presence and she wants to win. And I think you need players like that, you know, in your squad, whether they're on the pitch or around the team.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that is Leicester City fans breathing a huge sigh of relief. They have now ended their 9-game winless run. What will that mean to them?
I mean, it's massive for them. I think, you know, coming into, as you say, that form, you lose confidence and you start to think, when is that win going to come? But they played against Everton midweek, beat them, and then they've done the same again in a week. So.
Well, what does that all mean for the Barclays Women's Super League table? It's as you were at the top. Chelsea still 3 points clear of Manchester City and Arsenal, with United 7 points adrift from the Champions League places. Leicester's win sees them move up to 7th, while Brighton drop 2 places down to 10th. West Ham's win means they peel 3 points away from Bristol at the bottom. In the Barclays Women's Championship, bottom of the table Watford gained a crucial 3 points away to Durham. Adjumang pounced on a loose pass from Wilson and unselfishly squared it to Johns to tap into an empty net for the opener in the 2nd minute of the match. And it was Adjumang again whose teasing through ball wasn't dealt with by Durham keeper Saunders. Haynes was there to capitalise on the mistake and finish into an empty net to confirm their first win since early September. Well, Lewes were denied 3 vital points for the 2nd week in a row. Charlie Welling's 94th minute equaliser ensured the points were shared. Southampton and Birmingham City both won by a 0-0 score. Sunderland were comfortable winners away to Blackburn on Saturday evening, and Charlton beat Crystal Palace on the road. The match had a lengthy stoppage after an injury to Arsenal loanee and Charlton player Freya Godfrey. We of course hope for a speedy recovery there. Well, Charlton's still a point clear of the Black Cats. Southampton and Birmingham are within 3 points of the leaders. Palace dropped down to 5th, 5 points from the top. Watford's win has now put them level on points with their fellow relegation rivals, Lewes. Well, there's lots to come on the BBC. The Africa Cup of Nations continues with Senegal versus Ivory Coast live on BBC 3 from 10 to 8 tomorrow. Highlights, of course, from all the matches are available on the BBC Sport app and website. And Women's Football Weekly, a brand new podcast, is available on BBC Sounds. Ben Haynes and England women's record goal scorer Ellen White will be joined by current WSL players to discuss the latest news across the domestic and international leagues, with a new episode released every Wednesday. Well, that's all we've got time for. We'll be back, of course, next Sunday. Anita Fern, thank you for your company as always. Well, it's a very happy birthday for Jonas Seiderval. 2 goals, 3 points and a clean sheet to end January. Bye for now.
He's gone for it! Oh, magnificent! Alessia Russo, 2-0. Caitlin Ford finishes off the move and may well have finished off Liverpool.